Hey, this is Mrs. Hobson with Do. Oh, don't you do that. That's not nice. And Bean. We're on Unit 24. We're on Day 1. We're going to start a new vowel sound with you. Well, really a long vowel sound. But before we get started, I want to remind you that you have a new class list. With the class list, you do have review tricky words. It's really good to get your child to read. You've got the new tricky words for this week. Review words. They're doing the old vowel rules. Then we're working on list A and the sentences. Do you see me? He's like, look, let me do it again. I'll put it here. See, he's going to nudge up and he wants his cookie. All right. Are you going to get your cookie first today? I think you are. Okay. There you go. Now, he does have his phone today, guys, so just be forewarned that you may hear kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And so now Duke's the mature one. Yes, you are. See, I'm the old man. But what's my name, Duke? You said Mom. Mom. No Barnum. There you go. All right, Mr. Mature Man, you. He's old. And that's going to kind of help us to go into our next thing that we're going to be talking about. We did the last vowel team. And the last vowel team was the long I sound. I don't know to it. Mr. Old Duke. Mr. Old Duke. Yeah, Mommy loves you. I love you. All right. We did the vowels last week with the long I sound. We had Mr. I waving his hand as Mr. E was looking for what? You're right, robots. And then we had IGH saying the I sound, where Mr. I is holding his ice cream, and he holds his ice cream why? Exactly right, because Golden Girl would giggle, and she'll eat that ice cream quietly because Harry Hatman hates the noise. So all we hear is that I sound. Now this week, we're going to be working on the long sound of O and I. But they don't match the rules that we've had before in the past. Because the rules that we had in the past was when the vowel man was by himself at the end of the word, he could shout out his name like he does in go, go. That doesn't work with Mr. O saying the O, long O sound here. And in the past we have where Mr. I says his name because the magic from Magic E goes and makes it where Mr. I says his name and I like in hide, but that's not going to be the case for this long I sound here. And the other vowel rule that we had was one vowel would say its name as the other vowel would look for robots. Like we've got boat. But that rule doesn't happen with Mr. O here and with Mr. I here in these words. We have something kind of different this week. So I want to go over it with you so you can understand. This week, we have that we're going to learn that some words that have a vowel man in the middle with no magic E, almost my foot, no other vowel man walking with them. The vowel man in these words are Mr. O and Mr. I. Now, we're going to make a word. If I make this word, Mr. O is going to say its name. And it's going to say old. Mr. O is old. Just like I told you that Duke is old. So when we have this LD word family or OLD word family of old, we're going to know it's going to be that long O sound. The next thing that we have is that we could have sorry guys, turning on back, it's kind of hard. Oh, this is my fault. I bet you she won't pop up quick. I thought I had 2 L's and I don't. Anyway, can't find her. There's supposed to be another L there, so just bear with me. So in this one, Mr. O's going to say his O name in roll. So when we have this LL, we're going to have that O. Now another one, Mr. O is going to keep his name when we have trying to say sitting down. Beanie seems to do better when I sit down. When I get up and down, he seems to go like, what's going on? All right, so here we go. Both. Mr. O is going to keep his long O sound when we have both. So we're kind of working on word families. We're working on the word family of old, oast, oath, and ole. And they all make that long O sound. Now the next one is Mr. I. Mr. I is kind. He's a kind man. We know that he's really kind because you know how he likes to give Golden Girl the ice cream. So he is kind. So we're going to put the K here. Emily, am I off the screen?
Your head is.
Alright. You might see me headless. We're going to put the kind here. And so we've got the kind, and we're going to find that in words like kind and find. We're also going to find out that he has the ild, like in, hold on, mild, because he is a mild man. Mild is another word for just being kind of mellow and calm. So he's calm and he's mild, like we have in mild and child. We do have another one where Mr. I says his name in climb. This week is more with word families to remember that have that long O sound than it really is with the actual rule. I know that's kind of weird. It's different than what we've done in the past. That's the way the lesson's going to go. Now I'm going to stick these in, and Emily, I am going to have to stand up so that I can make some of these words. So let's do our live reading to see how well you can remember this rule. And read them for me. Now remember, Mr. O in these words is going to say O, and he can do it like in old, hold, or he can say that O like most, both, or he can say that O in roll. Also too, remember with Mr. I, he can say that I sound in kind because he is kind, and also with the word find in that same word family. Then also we know that Mr. I is mild. So it can be mild, and in the same word family, we can have child and then climb. Am I, Emily? Can you see? Good job. All right, now I'm at the chart, and we're going to make some words, and I want to see if you can read them. Put one letter down. All right, let's go with Mr. O, L, D. What sound is Mr. O going to say? O. Old. Old. And then we're going to do another word that has that O. Let's put that beginning sound. Old. Mold. Now, this is one that we would love to have. You ready? Old, gold. And this is another one. We're going to go totally off. We're going to keep Mr. O there. And now, we'll have Mr. O. We'll have S. And the T as the end in Lynn. Sorry, 2 came up, and then the M. Remember, he's going to say his name. Even though he's all by himself, you're thinking, well, most. This is when he's going to be long. He's going to say his name. Most. What's this word? Most. Great job. Now, one more one, Mr. O, before we go to Mr. I. And this word that we're going to do with Mr. O, I don't know what my other L is, but there's supposed to be one more L. Roll. Roll. We're going to take that off. All right, we'll take Mr. O off. Now we're going to do some with Mr. I. Let's see if you can read these. Let's take this. We know that Mr. I is this. Send it out together. Kind. What is Mr. I? Kind. Great job. And we know that Mr. I is going to say his name in this word that rhymes with kind. Find. And we also know that Mr. I is going to have another word that rhymes with him in the Ein family. So if it's Ein and we put the W, it's going to be W. That makes sense. Wind. I don't know why they put that for me to make. That doesn't make much sense. All right, let's do this one. Mr. I is mild. We're going to spell them like that. Here we go. Mild. I'm sorry, the dogs at the door. And in that mild, boys, stop. In that ild family, we also take the W. And we've got this as wild. Wild. The dogs are acting wild right now. So what we probably need to do is put this back. And now they are mild. They're not barking as much. They've gotten quiet. They've gone mild. That is too funny. Just trying to make that work. And then this one, we'll stop at this one. Because I was going to make one, but after that episode, we need to keep them calm. All right, I'm going to review the chart with you. We're going to read over the words, and then I'm going to go over the sentences and the tricky words that are new for this week. Like I said, for this week, we've got to remember Mr. O and Mr. I saying their name more so with word families than we are with vowel rule. Because normally when you see them, they're just all by themselves, and you would think Mr. O would say ah, but because it's in the word family of old and hold, it's going to say o. In the word family of most, ost, both, and roll. Then we also need to think about Mr. I saying his name because he is kind. So we have the word family of ein with kind and find. And then we got to think about Mr. I saying his name because he is mild. So that we got mild and we've got child. And then also too, we've got this color climb. We have 3 tricky words. This word is tricky because it is a compound word. So we're going to take the first word. The first word is him. And the second word is self. And together it's himself. So it's tricky because it's a compound word. It's 2 words put together. Then we're going to look at this word. And this word is look. 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 Has that sound. You would think with the rules that we've done about 2 vowels together that it would say the O sound. Look. Oak. But it doesn't. It's got that look sound. So just remember those 2 O's are going to go together for that. Then we have this next tricky word. wind, wind, wind. Kind of doesn't go wind. It's got that tricky about the Mr. I being there. All right, we've got two sentences. This sentence is long, but it ends with a what? A period. And what does a period do? It tells us something. So let's see what it does. Here's our tricky word this week. Look at that. Here's using Mr. I, saying his I name. Child, climb, and then you got the in, climbing the Mr. E's going to say his name. The other E's looking for robots. Tree by. We know that Mr. I got dizzy, so Mr. Y took his place to say I, by, and then our new tricky word of himself. So let's read it again. Look at that child climbing the tree by himself. Excellent job. Now the next one that we have is another sentence. It ends with a period, and when we end with a period, it's going to do what? That's right, tell us something. So let's see what it tells us. Mr. I did not mind the cold wind. Great job. We did that pretty straight. I know you're looking at this I and going, Salton, why didn't you put a top and a bottom? Usually when you are reading in books, the straight line down for an I is what's called the reading I. So I wanted to be sure and have that this way for you this time so that you can start recognizing that reading I. All right. Now, remember, for this week, we're working on Unit 24, Day 1. We're working with the long sound of O, all by himself, but in word family of old, and oast, and oath, and ol. And we're working on Mr. I with a long sound of I in the word family of eind, as in kind and find, and ild, as in mild and child, and then the climb. We have the tricky words of himself, look, and wind. Hopefully we can have a day not with the dogs barking so much tomorrow, and we will start day 2. Bye.